So we are currently in Mexico. It is actually our last day today. We have been here for the last 10 days. I wasn't actually sure if I was going to be vlogging this trip. We came for a little 10-day all-inclusive getaway as a bit of a chill holiday because the last few trips we've done have been very fast-paced and full-on, and we needed to force ourselves to sit down and stay still for a little bit and have a proper rest. However, we have ended up doing a few trips. I think we've done like a trip every other day. We both claim that we want a rest and to not do anything, but then we get somewhere and get very fidgety. So we've kind of had half rest, half going out on little trips. We are staying in Riu Palace. We've actually stayed in Riu Palaces before. We stayed in Riu Palace in Cape Verde, and we stayed last year in Costa Rica. And there was so many hotels to pick from that we actually were a bit overwhelmed. So we just stuck to what we're used to. The food has been phenomenal. The resort is absolutely lovely, and it has been a lovely reset. Even though, as I said, we have done day trips, we have chilled a lot more than usual. The Riu Palace we're staying in, it's Riu Palace Riviera Maya, which is in Playa del Carmen, which on the map is kind of halfway between Cancun and Tulum, if you know where those areas are. So it's about an hour's drive from Cancun airport where we landed, and then an hour's drive to Tulum where we went on a little day trip that you'll see in the vlog. Playa del Carmen has lots of like all-inclusive resorts. We kind of just picked one in the middle of everything so we could get around and do little trips. The beach is absolutely beautiful. The area has been brilliant. You will see we went to Cozumel, which is an island literally opposite where we're staying in Playa del Carmen, so that was super easy to get to, and as I said, right in the middle of Cancun and Tulum, so really easy to get around.
So a very quick look at the room we stayed in, just for anyone who's interested. We booked a junior suite directly through the Riu website, which cost us £228 a night for 10 nights. As this is an all-inclusive resort, this price obviously included all food and drink for the 10 nights for the both of us. The room was super similar to the other Riu Palaces we have stayed in. We are always so impressed with the room size, and as I said, absolutely love staying in these hotels.
The first clips are from our trip to Chichen Itza, where we did a full day tour to see the pyramid, and we also went to Cenote or Cenote, which every time I filmed I've pronounced differently. Chichen Itza is one of the new 7 wonders of the world, so we really did want to go there while we're here, but it is a fair trip away. I will insert all the clips from there and then all of our trips afterwards.
We booked the Chichen Itza full day tour through our hotel, and this cost 1,765 Mexican pesos each. The first stop was some gift shops, and then we had a buffet style lunch while watching some local dancers. We then drove to Chichen Itza, which is one of the most visited archaeological sites in Mexico today, being named a World Heritage Site in 1988 and becoming one of the new 7 wonders of the world in 2007. It is thought to have been a religious, military, political and commercial centre and would have been home to around 35,000 people. The name Chichen Itza actually translates from the Mayan language as at the mouth of the well of the Itza, and the Itza were a particular group of Mayans who were once in control of the Yucatan Peninsula's northern region, and the well refers to the natural cenotes close to the city, which were the only source of water at the time. And we then headed to one of those. This is Cenote Samal, which is a large open-air sinkhole formed due to the collapse of a roof of an underground cave. The crystal clear water goes as deep as 45 metres, and this was so refreshing to swim in. And our final stop was a very brief visit to the city of Valladolid, where we grabbed an ice cream in the main square before the very long 3-hour journey back to Playa del Carmen.
The day before yesterday, we went to Chichen Itza, which was a really long day tour, and I think we were out for about 14 hours in total, and we didn't get back to around 9:30 at night, so we just made it back for dinner. So yesterday we just had a pretty chilled day by the pool. Today we are venturing out, so we're going to head to Cozumel, which is an island opposite where we're staying in Playa del Carmen. It seems super easy to get to. I think we just need to get a taxi from where we are at our hotel to Playa del Carmen town, where the ferry port is, and then I think the ferry is about 45 minutes to Cozumel, and that runs like every hour, so it should be super easy. We need to get our ferry tickets at the port. We don't really have any plans for when we get there. It's going to be pretty much a chill day. I'm sure we'll go exploring, we'll grab some lunch, see the beach. My family actually went on a cruise that went to Cozumel earlier in the year in January, and they really loved it there, so it'd be nice to kind of retrace their footsteps. And it's so nice that it is so close to where we're staying. You can kind of see the building buildings. If you squint and look really far from the beach where we are, you can see some buildings which I believe are Cozumel.
The Ultramar ferry to Cozumel cost us 250 Mexican pesos each and took around 45 minutes. We explored the town and shops for a little while before getting a taxi to one of the closest beach clubs as we were really struggling in the heat. Our taxi driver recommended Paradise Beach. The all-inclusive beach club access cost us 1,182 pesos each. And this included access to the beach, the sun lounges, the sea inflatables, the bar, the pool and all the other facilities. On the way back to Playa del Carmen, we got the Windjet ferry, which was a little cheaper at just 210 pesos each.
Cozumel was absolutely beautiful. We got there and had a little bit of an explore around the town and the shops, and then we decided to head to the beach because we really just needed to jump in some water because we were so sweaty. It is actually a much bigger island than we were anticipating, so we ended up getting in a taxi to the closest beach, which was Paradise Beach, but also San Francisco Beach is right next to it. The beach was absolutely beautiful and there was no seaweed, whereas we have found there's been a little bit of seaweed down by the beach by our hotel, and I think it's quite common at this time of year in June that the beaches do have seaweed on them, but even the taxi driver said that these beaches on Cozumel don't get it. On the way back to the ferry, I think we got the 5 o'clock ferry back. We had a little bit more of an explore around the town. It's really like touristy shops, a lot of people trying to get you on tours. The ferry was really easy to get. It's so easy to just get the tickets at the port. There are 2 different ferries running and they run every other hour, so I'd recommend just getting a one-way ticket because you don't necessarily know which one you want to get on the way back and you don't want to be waiting around for an extra hour, so that's what we did. So today we're heading to Tulum. We've got a little private tour booked. I think we're going to the Mayan ruins, one of the cenotes, which is, or cenotes, similar to what we did near Chichen Itza. And then on the way back we're going to head to Acumel Beach, which is where the turtles are. It is just myself and Jack on this tour, which is nice because we're not waiting around for anyone. We can do everything at our own pace and we have the taxi driver all day.
We booked this tour through Mexico Highlights and it cost us 4,921 pesos. Our tour guide picked us up at 8 AM and then we got back around 2:45, which was so much better than our Chichen Itza tour where we got back really late. We found out Mexico Highlights also do a private tour for Chichen Itza, so definitely check them out. Our guide was lovely and stayed with us the whole day. He did the tour of the Mayan ruins himself with the 2 of us, which was so nice. Tulum is another one of the most visited archaeological zones in Mexico, and the ruins sit on seaside cliffs, which are so beautiful. Next we headed to another beautiful cenote, which was Gran Cenote, which is actually one of the most famous and most visited in Riviera Maya. The turquoise water here is again crystal clear and great for snorkeling. We saw some amazing fish and beautiful turtles. The last stop of our tour was to Acumel Beach, which is known for its beautiful white sand and swimming with turtles. The sea was quite wavy the day we went there, and as the sand was moving, it was quite difficult to see them, but when we did, it was amazing. If you love turtles, definitely check out my Cebu, Philippines vlog.
So we've only got a few more days left now. Tomorrow we're going to be heading to Isla Mujeres, I think that's how you say it, which is an island off of Cancun. So we're staying in Playa del Carmen, so we need to get a taxi tomorrow morning to the ferry port in Cancun to get to Isla Mujeres. Very similar to what we did for Cozumel, but we got the ferry to Cozumel from where we're staying because that is literally opposite Playa del Carmen where we are. So yeah, added journey in the morning to Cancun, but it's only a 30-minute ferry from there. I believe the island is quite quite well known for the fact that the way to get around is golf cart. So we're planning to rent a golf cart when we get there and like drive around the island ourselves. We may end up in the sea again and go to a beach or a beach club. We're going to play it by ear. It is very hot, and that is why we ended up at the beach in Cozumel. The taxi picks us up at 8 AM tomorrow to get us to Cancun to then get to the ferry port.
First of all, I'm so sorry for my mispronunciation. I've been saying Isla Mujeres, but it's Isla Mujeres or Isla Mujeres. The round-trip ferry tickets cost us 300 pesos each, and the journey took around 30 minutes from Cancun. When we arrived, there were lots of providers near the ferry port renting out golf carts. We paid 1,100 pesos to rent one for the day. After a bit of a rocky start, we then headed to the southern and highest part of the island, which is Punta Sur.
We made it to Isla Mujeres a whole day later than we originally planned, because in the night yesterday I was just so unwell and so sick. There was absolutely no way I was getting an hour taxi and a ferry here because I'm a seasick person anyway. But we made it here. We got a golf cart. I think it cost 1,100 pesos for the day, so I think it like counts from 9 AM to 5 PM. We've just come to Punta Sur, which is like a famous place to see. It's got amazing views. We did have a near-death experience in the go-kart, all thanks to Jack. We did not see a stop sign at a junction and a car nearly went into us, and that was within the first 10 seconds, so my confidence wasn't great. It took us about 25 minutes to drive from where the ferry port is to where we are in Punta Sur, and towards the end I was getting more comfortable. I think we're going to get back on our golf cart and drive around. I believe it only takes 2.5 hours to go around the whole island. I don't know if we'll be doing that today. It is quite hot. Luckily it is a bit overcast, so we are getting little breaks from the sun, but it is so humid. I think it's mid-30s. But yeah, I think we're going to go for a little explore. We might stop at a beach. We need to grab lunch at some point, so yeah, we'll see where it takes us. This is our little go-kart for the day, number 29. It's already a little bit broken before we even got in it, so this bit is not connected, so it wobbles, the roof wobbles the whole time we're driving, which is just our luck.
We then headed back towards the ferry port to grab lunch along the beach, and then we googled the best beaches on the island and Playa Norte came up. This beach was so beautiful and very busy, so definitely very popular, but we managed to rent a couple of sunbeds for 400 pesos.
The next day now, our final day in Mexico. You might recognize this clip because I have just filmed the intro to the Mexico vlog. We had an amazing time in Isla Mujeres. We got back yesterday evening around 6 PM. I think we got the 4:30 ferry back, or was it the 4 PM ferry back? I'm not sure. I'd really recommend going there. We really loved it. I think we might have preferred it to Cozumel, Isla Cozumel. It was so fun going around in the little golf carts once we got the hang of it and realized where the stop signs were. It wasn't very clear where the stop signs were, and at the beginning we did nearly hit someone, which was not a great start and not great for my confidence, but we got there in the end. It made it so easy to get around and see as much as possible, and as I said, we went to Punta Sur, which is like a viewpoint right at the end of the island, and it was like a 25-minute-ish drive in the golf cart. It was lovely to be able to get there and drive there ourselves and not have to rent a proper car or get a taxi, so that was quite fun. Also on the way you see loads of different views, so yeah, I totally recommend going there, even just for the fun of getting a golf cart, because it's quite different. You can definitely do like party boats, like catamarans that go to Isla Mujeres from where we are and from Cancun, and that includes snorkeling and like lots of different stops. However, when we read reviews, a lot of people just said you can do it yourself, you can get the ferry, and then obviously you're not with loads of people, you're not restricted at how long you spend at each place, because I think you would get there and you couldn't rent the golf cart all day because obviously you're due back on the boat. If you want to do it at your own pace, I definitely recommend just getting the taxi into Cancun, or if you're staying there, it'll be so quick. Yeah, this is the end of the Mexico vlog. As I said at the beginning, I didn't really plan on filming this holiday because it was just going to be a complete chill reset, sit on our bum holiday, but as you know, we can't sit still for long.